Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about reports and macros, and this will be our last tutorial in Microsoft Access. And we say the report is an object which is designed based on the data in the database and which is used to inform the user of the selected content of the database. A report can be used to generate the various component reports that we need, and in our case we have a hospital database where you have doctor, medicine, and a patient. And maybe you wanted to generate a report of a certain patient that says this patient was treated by a certain doctor and that doctor administered or diagnosed that patient with certain medicine. Now we are going to create a query first, and we are going to use a query design view, and we want doctor, medicine, and patient. And we are going to say this doctor treated this patient and gave that patient this medicine. And then we are going to sort using doctor's first name, and then maybe the price of that medicine, and we're going to run this query, and you can see we have Dr. Agnes treated this patient, James Mbogwa, and that patient was given this medicine, and that medicine costs this amount. Now, since we have this query, we're going to save it, and we are going to call it treatment query. And now you want to generate a report about this. Now you're going to come to report. You can use a wizard or you can use design view, but you're going to use a wizard. We are going to search for that query that we have created, treatment query, and you're going to select everything, and then you're going to go to next. When you go to next, it's going to give you this window. He asks you how do you want to view your data, for which it's okay the way it looks like. And then you go to next. Next. If you want to sort your data, you can sort it here using either patient name, medicine name, or price. Then you go to next. You choose the layout that you want and the orientation. If you want portrait, landscape, then you go to next. You choose the style that you want. Choose this one, formal or soft gray. Next, and then you give your report a title. And then you finish. Now you have a report that says this doctor treated this patient and gave medicine to this patient, and then it was charged at that how much. Now you have the header here, treatment report, and you have a footer which has the today's date and page number. Now you have page 2, which has the rest of information like that. Now you can see our form is now in a printable format. You can print it and give it to the person who needed this form. Forms are important because they communicate of the things that are happening. Now we have tables which has data, but that data is not useful to us. Whatever is useful is whatever we have right now. like this one, it is information, isn't it? Now, I want us to create another report for maybe patients who come from a certain area, and we have a query for that, and we are going to come to create report by using wizard, and then we want patients from all. Here it is, and then you push it to the other side. Next, 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 next. Follow patient report, and then you finish. And here it is, a report for patients who come from mall. And now you can close, then close. So creating reports is not that difficult. Another thing that we can do is create a report using table. We have been using queries to create the reports that we have. Let's create it using a table. Let's use doctor's table. Now here you're going to come all the way up, doctor's table. Then we want all the details. Then next, next. Then you're going to sort using doctor's ID. Next. And then we have justified, we have these. Let's use justified, maybe landscape. Next. And then next, next, finish. And here we have a report that shows the list of doctors. We have a doctor's ID, first name, last name, gender, and the department. So creating a report is not that hard. You create a report using queries or using tables that we have. The last thing that we can discuss about a report is creating a report using a design view. Maybe let's use this one that has more patients. Use design view, and maybe we can increase the size here, increase the size here, and maybe we can add some few adjustment. Maybe you want to add an image to our report. We will come and take this one and add, maybe you wanted to add a logo. Like that, set it here. So here it is, an image. And maybe you wanted to change this heading and call it just mono patient. You're going to remove the word report, and you can just put anything. You can add the header that suits the work that you are doing. Let me call it mono patient, and maybe bring it a little bit to the center, like that. If you wanted to add a footer, you could add it here, below here. And if you wanted to just make some other adjustment, you could just make them here, and where you have our work. And when you are done, you save and you close that form. And when you come back to this form, you will see it has this adjustment that we have added. Now let me close. Let's finish by looking at macros. Macros is a sequence of instructions which can be carried out with a single click of a mouse button or by pressing keys or keys on a keyboard. Let me show you by illustrating a small thing. Now let me come to macros and click new. And action, I want it to, the actions are menu. You can add a menu, you can apply filter, you can add a beep, cancel event, close, but I just want us to choose a message box. And then inside the message box, I want us to add something here. Let's add a message. Let's say, hello world is our message. And then we run. Let's give it a name. Greetings. Okay, now you can see we have this message box that says hello world, and you can just say, okay, so you have created a message box that says hello world. That is a macros, and you can give a title. Maybe if you want it to appear on that window, maybe let it title. You will see the word title. And then when you run, yes, you will see the word title here. You could add any name, and also here you could add any name. So this is an example of macros. Thanks for listening. My name is Peter, and I'm going to read there. Goodbye.